He was a deranged and degenerate dope addict. So, in one fell swoop, the communists' program of anti-colonialism not only weakens their enemies, but also provides them with golden opportunities to capture still more of the Earth's terrain and population. Needless to say, the communists are not interested in discussing the granting of independence to their own colonial holdings, the captive nations behind the Iron Curtain. There's a quote down here from Stalin in the footnote. It says, in 1920, Stalin wrote, quote, "We are for the secession of India, Arabia, Egypt, Morocco, and the other colonies from the Entente, because secession in this case would mean the liberation of those oppressed countries from imperialism and a weakening of the position of imperialism and a strengthening of the position of the revolution. We are against the secession of the border regions, a weakening of the revolutionary might of Russia, and a strengthening of the position of imperialism." And that's from a collection of articles on the national question from October 1920. Be that as it may, by mid-1960, the worldwide communist drive of anti-colonialism had reached an all-time high. And this had been massively helped along by the work of the Fabian Society and their jet-setting around the world, giving speeches, and mainly targeting, in America at least, university students and trying to focus on the working class and university young people, idealistic people, trying to get them in that early stage of life before they've got lots of experience under their belt and they kind of are easy to sell ideas of utopia to young people. This promised utopia that the communists and socialists always say is just right around the corner. If we just, we just need to do a bit more looting and pillaging and wealth redistribution, and then we'll get there. The communist press in America was repeatedly instructing its readers to whip up mass popular support for the cause. All those who questioned the wisdom of this trend were branded, quote, imperialists, and their comments were buried in an avalanche of emotionalism, exploitation, cruel and inhuman treatment of the natives, and humanitarian consideration were phrases shouted at anyone who doubted the wisdom of granting immediate independence to colonial areas. In keeping with the prevailing mood, communist and Afro-Asian delegates at the United Nations had initiated a series of resolutions calling for the immediate independence of the Belgian Congo. The United States also went on record in favor of this position and exerted no small amount of pressure on the Belgian government to comply. Finally, after a few sporadic anti-colonial demonstrations in the Congo, Belgium yielded to international pressure. On June 30th, 1960, the Congo was granted independence.